What's up, family? So, Candice Owens has set the internet on fire once again. If you have not been living under a rock for the past month and a half since Charlie Kirk has been killed, Candice Owens has been fearlessly trying to figure out what exactly happened to him in his unaliving, in his death. Yeah, we have Tyler Robertson, and Tyler Robertson may in fact be the individual who, pulled the trigger and killed Charlie Kirk. But as we know throughout history, from Martin Luther King to JFK to Malcolm X and many others, we may have found out who actually is the one who did the crime, who shot and assassinated whoever it may be. But as time passed on, we started to figure out there may have been other people who were involved. There may have been other plans, people who may have sent these people. There's more to the story than just this one individual just woke up one day and they were unhinged. And see, that's what Candice Owens is fighting for. Candice Owens has been poking holes in the story, and none of it makes sense. And some of the people that are close to Charlie Kirk, some of the people that should be fearlessly trying to figure out exactly what happened to Charlie Kirk, they're telling us all to move on. And they're making it seem like Candice is a nutcase, and Candice is just doing this for views, and Candice is disgracing Charlie Kirk in his passing. But half of America, again, this video that I'm going to show you guys already has over 1 million views, and her podcast was streamed less than 4 hours ago at the time of this recording. So a lot of people are on Candice Owens' side. They believe that there's a lot of holes in this story that do not add up and they don't make sense. But see, what Candice Owens has been doing to these people, some of these people that are closer to Charlie Kirk, some of these people that say that they're Charlie Kirk supporters, they've been slandering her, telling everyone that she's lying about certain things, and she's been waiting and holding information back and then releasing the information when it's time to release the information. Now, I don't think Candice Owens knows exactly why and who and every detail of what happened to Charlie Kirk, but she has a lot of information that refutes a lot of the claims that these people are making, so it's making them look actually stupid. Now, today, she released some messages because this past weekend, she told the world that Charlie Kirk was betrayed by everyone. Now, again, a lot of people were frustrated by that because they seemingly thought that she was implicating Erica Kirk, Donald Trump, Cash Patel, Turning Point USA, and all the closest people that were to Charlie Kirk. Now, today, she's going to show a text message that was between her and Charlie Kirk about him knowing that he was going to die young. Now, that's not really odd for an individual like a Charlie Kirk. People like, again, Martin Luther King and people who do the work like Charlie Kirk, they know that their life may be ended shortly due to things that aren't just natural causes. So that's not a surprise that he may have assumed that he would be unalived early or killed early, but Candice Owens is the one that he told to be his David, to fight for his justice, stand up and slay Goliath. Let's take a look at what Candice Owens has to say.
You have to believe in your gut. I keep telling you guys over and over again, your gut matters more, right? Your subconscious picks up on things before your conscience does. Which brings me to dreams, by the way, because before I went on break, many people were triggered because I discussed on a previous show a dream that I had, a very vivid dream, whereupon Charlie told me that he had been betrayed. And so he's been betrayed. That's it. That's a lot I could say here. If I had known that me discussing my dreams was going to trigger so many people, I would have started every other show like Martin Luther King Jr. I'm like, I had a dream. And like I said, this one was clear. Charlie told me that he was betrayed. He actually said more than that, actually. But we're fishing, right? So let's be patient. What I want you guys to know about Charlie is he also used to dream very vividly.
See, I don't know. I don't want you guys to comment down in the comments down below. How do you guys feel about dreams? And I don't know how I feel about dreams. A lot of people believe that dreams kind of tell you the future, what's going on. They believe that it's a gateway to the spiritual realm and we're going, because when you are asleep, you're still alive. You're unconscious to an extent. And sometimes you can wake up with very, very vivid dreams of things. And maybe it's you're running away from your past or you see some things in the future. But some people really heavily rely on dreams. I don't necessarily personally. I don't know how I feel about them. But when I wake up and I have certain dreams, sometimes this shit scares the hell out of me. Sometimes I believe it's maybe something that I'm thinking so deeply in my subconscious that I may be scared of and that it kind of comes to light. Maybe something I'm worried about. Maybe if I'm about to have back when I was playing football, or going to have a sports game or whatnot, I can dream about what may happen in the game. And a lot of times those things would actually come true, in terms of visualization. I would have to visualize it and do things. And when I could visualize me getting an interception, typically those games I got the interception. But let me know what you guys think about dreams in particular. But I can understand people questioning Candice Owens for, like, you're having a dream and you think that this means that this actually happened. She probably believes that Charlie Kirk was betrayed. So, of course, she's probably going to have a dream of Charlie telling her that she was betrayed. So I get how people could be frustrated about that. But let's continue.
Because we traveled together so much, he would wake up, we would text, and he would tell me about those vivid dreams. And we talked about a lot of things, as you do when you get to know somebody. We talked about the spiritual realm. We talked about religion, our faith, most importantly, what our life's purpose was. And there was this period in April where Charlie kept insisting to me over and over again that he was going to die young. In fact, he told me that Turning Point USA was going to be the death of him. And I'm going to allow you to read his words. And it's funny how this came about, because when I was in Wyoming, I went outside, I was writing, physically needed to write, to put pen to paper and to pray. And I was sitting in the sun overlooking the mountain.
I don't want to stop her again. I'm sorry, guys. But I do want to clarify something. I don't think that she's saying that if Charlie's saying Turning Point is going to be the death of me, I don't believe that Charlie Kirk was saying that Turning Point, the executives and the people within that building, is going to be the people that killed him. I believe that his involvement with Turning Point USA and how big it became, how powerful that it is, that in and of itself would be the reason why he's going to die early. And so I want to clarify that. And I don't know if Candice is conveying that or not, but I think that's what he meant by it. Not necessarily the people at Turning Point is actually the ones that are going to kill me. If that makes sense. Let's continue.
And right when I concluded my prayer, I opened my eyes and I saw a massive bald eagle, and it just made me feel at peace. It's one of those moments where you just are in nature, you see something beautiful, and it makes you feel at peace. And then I felt the need to start going through messages and conversations between me and Charlie. And sure enough, I stumbled upon many messages of him telling me how he would die. And I'm going to show you some of those messages now, a particular set of messages that were written on April 6th, 2018, just a couple of weeks before Kanye tweeted, "I love the way Candice Owens thinks," which is relevant because a lot of things changed after that tweet. And it's relevant because Charlie sensed that something big was about to happen. And I think that is what the something big was. I also want to say, obviously, I am not making up these messages, okay? Turning Point. Actually, Mikey McCoy has access to all of Charlie Kirk's messages. They can tell you that these ones are real. Here is what he wrote. We were again talking about Kanye. Charlie wrote to me, "You're going to be the Iron Lady of America." He had such a political vision for me. I never wanted that sort of a thing. I see it so freaking clearly. I might be Moses, though. I might not see this whole thing through. LMAO. If that is the case, be my David. I said, "Dude, you haven't even realized your power yet. You're so young," was what I was thinking. He said, "If I tell you the true prophecy that I know in my gut, it's really sad, but I hope it's wrong." He went on to say, "Anyway, I am not sure if I will live to see the end of this revolution. I believe you were the piece that God meant me to meet that will finish the fight. Since the beginning of TPUSA, I knew in my gut that I might get wiped out at any time. I cannot explain it, but I dream about it all the time, like all the time. Anyway, that's depressing combo for another time, LMAO. I said, "That's weird, more of a fear manifestation than an actualization." He said, "I'm not really afraid of it, but I'm just telling you what I know to be true."
That literally gave me chills reading that shit. And like I said earlier, I know a lot of people who may be in a position like a Charlie Kirk that are pressing so many lines that become so powerful that they may understand that they may get wiped out, using Charlie Kirk's words, early on. But it's clear that he had this belief. And it wasn't just saying it like, "I'm Moses and I want you to be my David." But he's saying, like, listen, if I really tell you what I truly believe and what I have seen and what God has told me, I'm going to get wiped out because of Turning Point USA. And I also want to add, I think this is clarification that it's not necessarily Turning Point who's going to wipe me out, but just the fact of the power of Turning Point USA, what that was going to bring, that may be his demise early on. But I like that he said he's not really being afraid. He just knows what is to be true. He knew this was going to happen eventually. Now, we don't know how it happened, why it happened, and that is yet to be found out. But he knew it. Shout out to Charlie. Let's continue this.
And he told me that. I don't know why. Charlie knew he was going to die young. And I don't know. I just felt like I needed to share that because it is in part why the moment that Charlie got shot, I just knew he was betrayed spiritually. In the same way that Charlie knew he was going to die young, I knew that this was a part of something bigger. And so I wanted to say to you guys, to the people that betrayed Charlie, I would recommend that you come clean, okay? I would recommend that you come clean because Charlie said some other things. And I look at these things now and I think, wow, it's almost prophetic, right? It's almost prophecy. And I can tell you that this is a story that will have a happy ending, a tragedy that will have a happy ending. The world is going to learn the truth about this. They are. I would recommend that you come clean. There are lines in the sand that are being drawn right now between good and evil. Many of you have picked the evil side. To you, podcasters, people that make videos, people that are taking money, tell people don't look over there. I would recommend you stop doing that. You don't have to listen to me. You probably won't listen to me. And to people that betrayed Charlie, you probably won't come clean. Likely because you're scared now. You should be scared, but you're the wrong kind of scared, okay? Fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. There is more. This is not it. I'm aware of that. That's why I've chosen to be on the side of goodness and truth, no matter what the cost is. I've picked my side. I don't care about any of you. I can't wait to read your articles after this, okay? That's breakfast for me. That inspires me now. Can't wait to read your loony tweets. I can't wait for you to lie about things that I've said. I cannot wait because you know what? On a hike that Charlie and I were on in Wyoming one time, we were discussing the death penalty. Like he was asking, like, what's your position on the death penalty? And I told him, I've always been against it. And typically that's a theological conversation. Christians go back and forth on it. Do you have a right to take a life? I'm on the side that no, we don't have a right to take a life. But my position on it isn't even entirely theological. I said to Charlie, the reason I'm against it is because death is easy. You're here and then you're not. It's like falling asleep, right? You're here 1 second and then you're not. Think about passing out or fainting. People that commit grave evil and we're giving them death, that's it. Yeah, I always say they deserve more than that. And for people that are involved, and many people that are involved in this, not the lone shooter, at different stages, people that are involved, people that know things, that are watching this, maybe in an office cubicle and know things. I want you to know that if you choose not to come clean, you are about to become very famous, okay? I am talking like through the ages famous, the kind of fame that most people cannot even comprehend. I cannot comprehend that level of fame. Like I'm talking about the level of fame that can kill a name. You know what I mean? Like nobody names their kid Judas anymore. Nobody names their kid Adolf anymore. I'm talking about that level of fame. Infamy.
So I'm gonna stop it there. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. I think what she ended off is death is easy. And I think a lot of the times that when people die, we feel so sad and sorry for the individual who had passed away, but typically they are free. They're in heaven. They are actually free. And it's us who are close to that individual or family members and friends. We're the ones who are in pain. It's not that individual. Death is really easy. And I'm sure Charlie Kirk is in a better place today. It's sad, of course, for everyone involved. And again, to clarify some of the things that Candice Owens has said, I don't think that she is implicating GPSU. She's implicating everyone. But I don't think that it was everyone who may have been involved prior or everyone who may have been, planned this to get Charlie up out of here. But I think a lot of people know more than what's being told. Some of the people that are very close to Charlie. And Candice is trying to figure that out. And I don't think that she's wrong for doing that. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you guys think Candice is cuckoo? I do understand the pushback that Candice gets. I understand it. They're not crazy for pushing back at some of the things that Candice says and the way that she presents these things, but she's not crazy. And like I said, she has 1 million views over 4-hour span. It's probably going to get to 2 million very soon. But I want to know what you guys think in the comments down below. How do you guys feel about these messages? How do you guys feel about Candice Owens? And what really happened to Charlie Kirk? I don't know. I hope you guys should know. Like always, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified every time I post a video. Like I said, I'm trying to get a lot of these out of here soon. But I love y'all. I appreciate you guys. And I will see you in the next one. We out of here.